Boom. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Nailed It podcast, sponsored by the Total Wealth Academy. That's my company, Urban Restoration. I'm joined today by longtime friend, frenemy, competitor, person who we've scrapped together a lot in real estate. We grew up together, I would say, in this real estate game in like 2007. His name is Brant Phillips. He's written a bunch of books. He's written the 7 Habits or Fundamentals of a Flip. Wait, what was it?
You just butchered that.
The 7 Fundamentals of a Highly Successful Flip.
You did not nail that.
What was the first book?
7 Fundamentals of a Highly Successful Flip.
I got close.
You got close.
7 Fundamentals of a Highly Successful Flip.
Yep.
You can find that on Amazon.
Yep.
Amazon. What is that? Like 99 cents, $1.99, $7.99?
It's like 19 cents or something like that.
Are you lying? 19 cents?
I think it's 99 cents for the ebook.
Yeah.
You know, the printed copy is probably $9.99. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You don't make much money off books.
No,
Just so people know.
Why do you do books then?
So when I wrote that book, it was like it got to the point like you've experienced. People start calling you, texting you, can you help me, all this kind of stuff.
I don't think people understand why you leverage the book. I think that this is a good turning point for success.
The books are like the first book I did it because I really wanted to. Like, man, I have so many people calling me. I'm pretty quiet and reserved, kind of stick to myself kind of guy.
Yes, you're an introvert.
Yeah, I'm an introvert. You're extrovert.
Yes.
But still, I was getting all inundated, and I wanted to help people, but I didn't want to go have lunch.
You're a
5 days a week.
You're a boundary setter.
Probably so.
Yeah.
So
big.
I called our buddy Jack, and I said, "Hey, man, I think I'm going to write this book." And he's like, "Call me when you're done," pretty much. So I wrote the book, and it was not good. To be honest, writing my first book, like it just came out.
Mine wasn't good either.
Yeah.
I dragon dictated the whole thing.
Yeah.
But Jack was like, "Hey, I need a book too." So I was like, "Okay, here you go."
Yeah, yeah. And so anyway, I've learned that process and how to get better. But it just helped. Like it started with just wanting to help people, share, and then you get some recognition for it. That's cool. You don't make any money unless you're like Joel Osteen, Oprah Winfrey, or Stephen King,
or an ex-president,
something like that.
Right.
Yeah, they make money. Nobody else does.
Right.
You make a little bit, but then it really turns into a leverage piece, right? Like,
but you do make a bunch of money on it.
So yes, indirectly, like private lenders, it's credibility. If you're doing coaching, other things like that. So I really like the books.
People want something that they can take away after they come to listen to you speak to get more of your insight.
Yeah. And
I'm a big fan. Jack had me on the workbook. Mm-hmm. Like, give someone a workbook because it's you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I understand flipping, but what I think most people miss out on is like, when do I pay my contractors? What do I need to be doing daily? Like, what are some tasks that I can do to stay on track with contractors? Because if you don't know this stuff, you get lost.
Oh yeah.
And plus, I think we also write these books, or you write your books. I don't write books anymore. I do the podcasts. Mm-hmm. I'm all about the podcast. Mm-hmm. I want to get your snippet of your book in like an hour. Mm-hmm. So like Lewis House became my my master's class, was the School of Greatness podcast. Mm-hmm. You listen to that?
I'm familiar with it, but no, I don't listen to it.
Okay. Wow. I think he's had Tony Robbins on like 6 times.
Going to Tony Robbins in November.
Okay, which one?
Unleash the Power.
Not Date with the Destiny.
Not Date with Destiny.
Okay. Unleash the Power.
Yes.
As a couple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tara and I are going.
Wow.
In November.
So she's no longer catch me up with Tara. She's no longer doing Cosmopolitan.
No, I think she tapped out after kid 3. So she's been, stay-at-home mom and, managing CEO of our 5 kids
right
now. And so she's been doing that. She's just helped with little things here and there. But so she's getting, probably about 6 months ago, she's like, I want to come work with you. You know,
wow.
I'm like, okay.
To do what?
So she's getting her real estate license.
Okay. So Kendra, my fiance, is getting her real estate license.
So she's getting her real estate license to do all that.
And so, okay, what is all that? What does that look like?
Okay, so when I say all that,
yeah,
phone calls, like literally phone calls, because I have a
because you have an EXP brand.
Can't tell everybody this. I have a God, cut the mic. I have a fully trained assistant who people look at me like, oh, you're EXP Icon agent.
Right.
I don't know how to do a listing. I don't fill out so I've got someone trained who does every single email, listing, amendments, Right. But she doesn't do the phone calls. You know.
You can't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tara's gonna be the point of contact. It'll be her name, her email. So I'll just be totally beautiful from that. Yeah.
So how much of the stuff? Okay. So for anyone that doesn't know Brant, if you've just had your head buried or you're brand new to real estate, that would probably
been out of the scene for a while though.
Yeah, kind of. But you're more like in the scene with Quest. That's the last time I saw you publicly, I think. That's
been a few years, too.
It was Quest, and then when you came up here and we did our mano a mano.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, yeah, you far surpassed just doing the single-family bullshit game. You're now doing the storage. And
no, not storage.
Not storage. The mobile home.
Yeah.
Mobile home. That's what I meant.
Mobile home parks.
Which is like a storage of people where they live.
Yeah, so we started doing mobile home parks. I have an RV park. We still do single family.
Yeah.
You know, we still do single family.
So how much of your business is single family? And what are you doing in single family? Acquiring to rent or flip?
We mainly flip still.
Okay.
But you mentioned like we're competitors, but we don't compete. Yeah, we're doing.
It's just for the show. Yeah. It's just so that like, why is this competitor on here? Because your companies, you help investors. We'll call Home Invest Home Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You used to do it unintentionally. Now I know it's coming. You're gonna butcher.
Yeah. I was Home Invest Pro, and my company is Urban Restoration, so Brant would publicly call me Urban Destruction.
Yeah. So we'll do 40 to 50 single family deals a year.
Okay.
Fix and flip.
Just your own.
Just our own.
Okay.
A few rentals and maybe half a dozen or so owner finance. So that's what we do on single family. Now mobile home parks, we've been buying 2 a year.
Yeah,
I guess for the last few years.
How do you get those deals?
Different ways. So we're marketing for them.
Okay.
I've bought one from a wholesaler. I bought one from like a public website.
What's the difference in because like we can go drive for dollars. Can you drive for dollars looking for a mobile home park?
Probably not a good use of time.
Okay.
I mean, if you see them, yeah. But we do it. So we've bought one from a broker / wholesaler, Tim Luna. Bought one from Tim.
Okay.
That was my first one. We bought one from, like I said, a website. So we're doing a lot of SEO marketing, and we bought one from SEO. About to buy our second one from SEO, and the other one we also bought from a wholesaler.
Give me an idea, like, there was. Do you remember Big State?
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Big State was spending $75,000 a month to acquire single family.
Yeah.
Through SEO.
Yeah.
What's
through SEO or PPC? Probably PPC.
Probably both.
Yeah. PPC.
It was a both. He came on my podcast.
Yeah.
When I was at the Crowbar. Do you remember that one? A long time ago. It was in Oak Forest. We used to do it was called the Real Estate Happy Hour. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. With Clay Cahoon.
Yeah.
Yes. So he told me he was spending about $75,000 a month, and Bible was spending like $50,000, and then also had all the billboard game.
Yeah.
Remember with the Right Path?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which, yeah, it's like only one of those guys is still going. I feel like.
It's tough, man.
It is.
It's tough. And so I tried doing that a few years ago, and we failed miserably. Also, like, all right, let's go from 50 to 100, and then you have multiple consecutive bad months. You got to change some team members, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. So we changed our mindset to small but mighty. It was like something me and my coach came up with, small but mighty. So we're like, stay 40 to 50 deals a year. So what
would be wrong with that?
No,
I don't understand why everybody has to grow to like a Grant Cardone scale.
You don't have to.
Right.
And that's what I
just build the life you're good at.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I used to tell my students all the time, I'm like, if you can flip 10 or 15 deals a year with low overhead, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
That could be a great business. Now, I just wanted to get out of it. Like, I wanted to do 40 or 50 without being in it, right? And so that's what, I work on is like, hey, how do I do this without being in it so I can do something else or just have free time?
Are you still doing marathons?
No, I never did a marathon. I did Ironman.
Ironman. It's the same thing.
What's
the difference?
You finish an Ironman with a marathon. Yeah. And so I had never ran a marathon until I did an Ironman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, true. Yeah, Pablo just qualified for Worlds. Pablo, have you seen Pablo?
Yeah.
He is like half the guy he used to be.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. No, I'm not fast.
Mm-hmm.
Very slow. It was just like literally just came up like bucket list. Let me give it a shot. I had 3 knee surgeries before, and so I was like, I'll never do it, And dude, it just came up one day, and I heard a guy telling his story about his Ironman experience, and he had, I think 3 Achilles tears. Right, he used to be like really into like ultra marathons and all that kind of stuff, and he still did, marathons. And I'm like, hell, let me just give it a shot. If I quit, I quit. If I can't make it, I can't make it. So I did it. I did a half, then I did a full, then I did another half, and I did another full. And so,
what did you learn from the first Ironman?
Oh man, that's a good question. So I learned a lot, right?
Because we were with you on Facebook as you would finish a run. You would do the Brandt Breakdown, where you would give us a little snippet of what was in your mind.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people do this.
Yeah.
When they're running and exercising, they're always giving advice or some critical thought came through their mind and they're sharing it. It's really good information.
Oh, you'll have some of your biggest insights.
So what was yours?
Through exercise.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I had one big insight. This question could actually take me a while.
That's okay.
But so a lot of the stuff I did, like with Ironman, when I fought, in the MMA cage fight, if you remember that, and went through SEAL training, all that kind of stuff, was really like I wanted to get out of my comfort zone, right?
Because you did a fight.
Yeah, I fought in a cage fight. I got my ass knocked out, just so everybody knows.
In like what, 1 minute or something?
It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't need to rehash that, but the guy called because it was like amateur. I mean, the dude clocked me, like it knocked me out cold. I come to almost right, and the dude's pounding my face in, but I get him off and I get up, and he called the fight because it was like an amateur fight, and I'm like, I was good, but the dude clocked me hard. Like went out cold and like waking up doing like that. I got him up, got off, and he was like, nah, that's it. And so anyways, check the box. People are like, you gonna do it again? I'm like, no.
Right.
No,
right.
I'm
I
not.
already checked that box.
No, I'm not.
Isn't it funny how many people want to live vicariously through you doing what they want to watch?
Right above my desk is the man in the ring. Right? Like that is one of the most powerful quotes or sayings, just like being the man in the ring who's bloody and marred and all that kind of stuff. That's
from the girl here in Houston.
What do you mean?
The man in the ring.
Well, no, that's from Eisenhower, but yeah.
She brings it back. Golly, I can't remember what her name is. Everybody's going to... You don't know what I'm talking about? Brene Brown.
I'm not that
Dr.
big.
Brene Brown.
I'm not that big on social media, but...
She's not on social media. She did a TED Talk. She did a TED Talk, and she's from the University of Houston in the psychology department. Okay. And what her big deal is like what is missing in the world today is people authenticity, is actual authenticity through being vulnerable and transparent. And that men today are, there's rare as the man that walks out and is willing to be in the ring. And so she said, if you're willing to be in the ring, then you cannot take arrows from people in the stands. They didn't even have the guts to get into the ring.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people out there. A lot of Karens in the stands.
It's a majority.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a majority.
That's why I tell people, they're like, why do you talk to Brant or Jason Bible or AC or whoever? Why do you talk? I don't need anything from you. So I'm in the ring with you. I can give you blows. But conversely, if you're going to blow, you have to be ready to get clocked upside your head whenever someone sees your weak. Someone will always see your weak side. And that's what I didn't learn until the last 2 or 3 years. I'm not perfect, but I thought I was. And that humility, getting knocked down and being able to come back up, that's been the biggest life lesson for me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. It's the Rocky thing, it's not a matter of how hard you can hit, a matter of how hard you can get hit and get back up.
Is that what the first Iron Man taught you? That you could get hard and get back up?
The first Iron Man taught me just to commit to something, even though it scared me, and get this limiting stuff out of my head. Because I had a doctor who told me, he said, he basically quoted, he's like, you have the knee of a very old man who lived, like a 7-year-old man who lived a very hard life. He's like, you need a knee replacement, not now, but sooner rather than later. He's like, you should stop running, stop doing CrossFit, all that kind of stuff. So that was, geez, now I'm really getting old, probably 12 years ago or so.
Right.
And so I believed him. Right, I'm like, oh, well, I need to stop doing all this stuff, even though I knew when I exercised, number one, stress relief, 2, health, 3, some of my biggest insights and stuff came when I was exercising. But I believed him to a certain extent. Now, got back into doing CrossFit and stuff like that, and that was like my comfort zone. But then doing an Ironman, I can't do that. It's my knee, And it was one of my old coaches who did it, and he was like qualified for Kona and all this kind of stuff. So he got real in depth. And Ironman is like, dude, like I've had 3 torn Achilles and blah, 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 blah. He's like, you can listen to your doctor, listen to you. He's like, if you want to do it, just do it. And so I just did it, and I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to sign up and I'm going to go. And then, now all this stuff comes back to me. And then I started training for it. I went to go swim. Dude, I couldn't last 10 minutes in the pool, like swimming without like touching bottom. Dude,
really?
Dude, I thought I was gonna die. Like I was gonna drown. So I found a swim coach, and he put me in the water, and I went back and forth a couple of times. He's like, yeah, you're probably gonna die if you get into open pool of water. So
it's open water.
So I got a few lessons, and I had a lot of lessons from it, man. It's like, if you need help, first off, just commit. Get a coach, get some help. I hired a swim coach. It was like 3 or 4 lessons, and it was like, I knew I wasn't going to set any records, but I'm like, I just want to finish. So I did that. Man, day of the race, like you just keep moving, man. It's just like one step at a time.
That's what I tell people all the time when they say, if I tell someone my story, like losing parents at such an early age, they ask you, and I always go back to that moment in the movie with Tom Hanks, where he, Castaway. He comes back and his whole life is gone. The woman he loves is with another woman, and it's raining outside, and FedEx is throwing this party for him, and he's sitting in there, and they said, how did you do it? And he said, I just kept breathing. And I think a lot of people today don't just keep breathing. They're so soft. They don't have a calloused mind where they don't embrace difficulty. Like you have to really embrace, I'm going to go through a lot of pain in order to accomplish this goal.
Yeah.
And I think if you already know that it's going to hurt, then you're okay with it.
Yeah. A big part of why I did all that stuff was for my kids too. You know,
why is that?
I did it for me. I'm not going to say like I did it for my kids, but also was like, if I do this when they're experiencing fear, you know, doubt, having like, hey bud, like I understand, you know, ways to relate and lead by example. So fear is a big thing, obviously. So most people, they do, man. They bow down to fear. They give into fear, and they don't even they don't even take the time to understand the fear. So I went through. You remember I went through like my, you know, kind of finding Jesus, kind of like my little sabbatical, kind of going through all this kind of stuff because I had essentially like a meltdown in life, midlife crisis, verge of divorce, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to figure some things out, or this is not going to end good. Right. And so I created business success, but personally, like I was a wreck, right? I was trying to be this outer shell and look all nice and clean, but it was like, it was pretty.
You were trying to be an extrovert in an introvert's body.
I don't know if I was trying to be I don't know, but
I'm just saying for people that they could see.
Yeah,
you've got this person here.
That's fair. Yeah.
Who's one way, and really deep down inside is this way. And I've dealt with this with Chris Funk a lot. Mm-hmm. Everyone thinks when they meet him that he's an extrovert. When they see you up on stage, they associate an extrovert. But really, when you get down to know you, like if we're all sitting at the table, Brant's the silent killer. Brant's the guy that's thinking a lot and processing. I'm the one that's talking and basically missing half the shit that's going, like half the real good stuff. You're thinking and processing, and then you'll drop a knowledge piece on everybody, and the whole table will be like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
But a lot of people associate success with the loudest guy in the room.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm always that guy, but you do want to be aware of the quietest guy in the room. Usually. You
should always fear what he's thinking.
What you said is true, though, because when I was coming out of that period, that valley, or as a valley in my life, when I was coming out of it, I did want to share, like, did I want to share this and teach this? And then that's whenever I was getting into, you know, Facebook and doing the videos and all that kind of stuff. And one of the big things I learned was how to basically really understand my fear, right, and process it, right? Because there's useful fear. Touch a hot stove, you don't do that, it's gonna burn. But most of it's non-useful. It's all this BS and all this kind of stuff. So I talk with this a lot with my kids, and a lot of people don't realize, like, fear is physiologically the same response in our body as excitement, except when we're experiencing fear, we stop breathing. We're like, oh. But if you just, like, you can transform fear into excitement. So I do this all the time. Like, we're doing another park right now, and I'm like, like I'm getting nervous. You know, why am I nervous? Is it the deal? Is it because it's going to add a lot of work to my plate? Is like something like maybe I need to be fearful, you know? So fear can be used for good. You know, you just determine, is this useful, is it non-useful, where is it coming from? You breathe and you can transform it and get excited about things and doing things. And so that was a big part of my MMA thing, like just overcoming that fear.
That's huge, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. Plus, I think that you want your kids, when you were talking about kids, you know, I've got one in college, one's in, she's like a junior. And she's been out of volleyball since the 8th grade. Mm-hmm. And so she went to go, you know, she went into Bridgeland, which is a big, huge high school, right? Like 3,500, almost 4,000.
Right off 99, right?
Yeah, right off 99. So she started all of her years, but she's not playing in that traveling group. So she didn't make the team. Mm-hmm. Well, so she went back this year to her junior varsity year, and she's made the team. Mm-hmm. But she's not playing. And so she's so devastated because she goes, Dad, you don't have to show up if you don't want to, because I'm not going to be playing. And I'm like, don't you understand? Just the goal was you're one of 12 that made the team. You get to play with everybody every day. It doesn't matter this year if you don't make the team. Next year you'll get to play.
Yeah.
You just got to keep being a good teammate.
Yeah.
And sometimes in life, that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Is play the sit role.
Yeah. Let
me just sit and watch and help and be just a practice person.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people do that, but man, I bet you if I had done something, and I think my kids sometimes take a little bit of what I do and they can extrapolate from it, but to be able to go out and compete in a competition level with other people and watching that live event happen and watching their dad cross over a finish line, that's got to be fucking insane for them.
Perspective's huge, man. Like, I love how you did that with your daughter, right? Like, you got to have the right perspective. That's what we got to do too as business owners and deals. And,
I think you're a guy and a dad that probably embraces failure. Is like, yeah, let's do this. Who cares? Let's just go out and go.
Well, I'm not afraid to fail.
But but half of the people that are watching this aren't.
Yeah, I know.
They are.
No, I know.
They won't go put themselves in an MMA ring because they're afraid of getting their ass knocked out.
No, I know. Yeah. That's the battle. It's not whether you win or lose. It's just getting in the ring. Like, new deal. Like, dude, I've went through this a lot in the last couple of years with real estate, hitting the ceiling. Like, dude, like I can just stick with my single family, but then I'm getting the itch, and doing the mobile home parks, doing the development deals. It's not my comfort zone. I'm battling that out.
What brought up the mobile home park?
So mobile home park was a buddy of mine was doing them for quite a while, and so I just made redneck jokes, to be honest with you, but then I started looking at it, kind of saw where single family was going. I'm like, before we were competing versus 2 or 3 guys, and now it's like, oh, we're competing versus 10 other offers. Like, this is not a game I even want to play on, for much longer. I can't play in it much longer. It just doesn't make sense.
It's like in 2010 when we used to have just hundreds of foreclosures, and all of a sudden it's just like the spigot.
Yeah.
Just dried up.
Yeah. So I knew the end of the road was coming, single family was changing, so I needed to figure something else out. And I just started reading, getting information, and basically, and I talk about this a lot when I talk about mobile home parks, but basically 2 things. Like, I learned about Warren Buffett, owning 21st Century Mortgage, owning Clayton Homes, so he was there. And then I learned about Sam Zell. You know who Sam Zell is? I didn't know who Sam Zell is. He's the Michael Jordan of real estate. And I didn't even know about this guy. So he's done more real estate than anybody ever, pretty much. Multifamily, skyscrapers, shopping malls, storage, residential, you name it. The guy's done it. Like, hundreds of billions of dollars of real estate. So long story short, his company was acquiring some other company. It was some $100 million acquisition or something like that. The company that they were buying, and they're just buying a business, that business owned a mobile home park. So, and this was in the 80s. So he had one of his guys, he said, hey, I need you to go out, take a look at this thing, and figure out what we need to do to get rid of it, because obviously we don't want to own a mobile home park. So the guy went out, took a look at it, went through all the financials, comes back, and he's like, you're not going to believe this. And he's like, what, it's worse than we thought? He's like, no, it's an ATM machine. It's like printing cash. So long story short, that they kept it, and fast forward to today, they're by far the largest owner of mobile home parks. They've got like 160,000 lots.
How many lots do you have?
A little under 200.
Dude, that's fucking badass.
Yeah, about 170 something.
How big was the first one?
43.
43.
But let me finish this story real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So they started buying them in 1984.
Okay.
Fast forward to today. If you look at their holdings in multifamily, commercial, strip centers, all this kind of stuff, they've sold off roughly half their holdings over the years. They've never sold a mobile home park. It's when I read that, I'm like, this dude is the greatest real estate investor ever, and he, by his actions, says he loves these things greater than anything else in real estate. I was like, I gotta give it a shot. So
I always think people are going to no longer have mobile homes, right?
Why do you think that?
Limiting belief. Just not having enough education, not surrounding myself or being at a table with people who buy mobile homes.
You think that people are going to move up?
I think that people, yes. I think manufactured homes, really, that was like a thing in the 80s and 90s, maybe, right? I always see people, but I'm wrong. Because when you get out towards Huntsville, it's tons of mobile homes.
It's like 10%.
Yeah.
10% across the country. So I think the opposite's going to be true.
Really?
More people are going to be living in manufactured homes.
Why do you think that?
Okay, so number one, the government's print money.
Okay.
Like toilet paper, right?
Yeah.
Probably more so. So the American dream is to own your own home. Mm-hmm. The American dream is fading fast. If the median price home in Houston's going to be
$350 or something like that,
lower middle class, they can't even afford it.
Right.
They can't afford it. And it's like getting further and further. So,
but where are they going to live? That's my point. Where are they going to live? Well, no, where are they going? Where are you going to drop a mobile home park in the middle of Houston?
Yep. So maybe you're not, right? So because major cities won't allow them, and to be honest, it doesn't even make financial sense. Your cost of your dirt.
Yeah, it's too much.
That doesn't make sense. You build up, right, for that dirt. So then you look to the suburbs. Probably doesn't even make sense there because City of Sugar Land's not going to approve a permit for mobile home park.
Do you still live in Sugar Land?
Yeah, Richmond.
Okay.
Yeah. So will
Richmond approve a permit?
Probably not.
Really?
Probably not.
Richmond done come up.
Probably not. So we're looking for, if you're going to develop one, and I really recommend people don't, but you look at, they call it the exurbs, like on the outside of the suburbs now, where you can like get in the county. It's not too far for people to make the commute, but maybe it's not even mobile home parks. That's why we're doing this development. We're doing a development of 140 the basically manufactured homes, double wides on land. They're going to be a half-acre lot, 37 minutes from downtown,
right.
Low 200s, but that's home ownership. That's the American dream. They can go to Houston, but to find something on a half-acre lot that's not a piece of crap is like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So who's manufacturing these homes?
I don't know yet. Like, there'll be multiple manufacturers, right? So we'll order from like Clayton and Palm Harbor, and there'll be different ones for them to choose from.
Will you just invite them to come and have like a one home there that people can, like a sales center?
So we will. We're gonna sell lots to some local dealers, and they can put whatever they want and sell it. And then we're just gonna be ordering homes, 20 homes at a time.
And then you will owner finance those out?
No, they're all gonna be just sold. Like we're gonna.
Can you get a 30-year mortgage on a mobile home?
You can do a 25-year mortgage on a mobile home. I want to say it's 25. We've been flipping them on land too.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where are you finding most of your deals?
We mainly do SEO and pay-per-click.
Right.
We do pay-per-click.
When you're getting these deals coming in, what's the person? Older, younger, divorce?
Probably all of the above.
Really?
Yeah, probably all of the above.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Any good deals out there?
So we market. We try to do our marketing outside of Houston.
Okay.
We do a little bit in Houston, but we market.
It's probably cheaper.
The exurbs.
Yeah.
That's what we market. We market to Magnolia, Dayton, Conroe, all those types of areas. Brazoria County, Montgomery County. That's where we market.
Do you get any off of Facebook? Do you do Facebook marketing?
No.
Mm-mm. Man, I bet you that's like a little gold mine.
We don't do Facebook.
You don't do Facebook at all anymore, do you?
Very little.
You just let Chris Bounds do it all?
Chris is working it.
Yeah, he is. He's working the EXP thing. Mm-hmm. So when EXP started, you jumped in pretty early.
Most smart people do. Yeah. Let's shout out some people.
It's a shout
It was
out
a pretty no-brainer thing for me.
Yeah. It was not a no-brainer for me.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Why was it a no-brainer? Or why was it not a no-brainer for you?
Because
Are you still licensed? You're not licensed.
No, I'm not licensed anymore. I got rid of it. I did it. I brought in people. You want to know why I got rid of the license? One, because I don't think being a realtor, I think when you're talking about looking at single family, mm-hmm. You said I looked at single family and I saw that it was going nowhere. I look at real estate agents and I think you are fucked. You got offer pad coming right up your ass.
Dude, I sold 2 houses to Open Door last month.
Brother, I sold Open Door, my personal residence. Do you want to know how much they gave me for my personal residence? $485,000. Do you want to know what Open Door's biggest problem is? I sold them my house in Brooksmith. They pulled comps in a 1 mile radius. And a 1 mile radius is Woodland Heights and Norhill. You gave me price per square foot based on Norhill.
They got a lot of problems, man.
They got a lot of problems.
I'm like, you're going to give me what? For what?
Dude,
here.
They're trying to resell my house right now. My house is on the market for $505,000.
Yeah. Yeah, they're supposedly they're turning a slight profit, but they got to be losing money, man.
So yeah, I have the contact of one of the guys. I'm sure you have the same guy. His name's Blake. He's like the Houston area. So. Okay, maybe where you're selling your stuff, it's outside of his comfort zone.
I sold one in Sugar Land.
Okay,
and one in like West Belfort, Chimney Rock.
Okay, nice. How much did you get for that one?
Chimney Rock.
Yeah,
it was like $250. It was not a good. It's not a good area, man. Like, it's not a good area.
I don't know what I feel like if they would have just bought and hold, like I'm gonna buy and hold this and put it in a renter for a year, and then we're gonna sell. Yep. I think that they would make a ton of money. Yeah. But the iBuyer coming in is gonna crush the regular real estate agent.
Well,
you have 10% of your agents out there that are making money, right? Mm-hmm. They make up what 80% of all HAR sales.
Yeah.
Is like 10% of the agents. Mm-hmm. The rest of them, I just don't see you making it.
It's hard. I mean, I deactivated my license for the same reason. Years ago, I deactivated it.
Then you got back into it.
Well, yeah, I had a girl on staff who's an agent doing all my stuff. I'm like, I don't need this. But when I saw EXP, I'm like, that's when I reactivated my license specifically because of EXP.
And you're the reason why I don't like EXP because